Hello, this is Bryant Myers, author of PEMF, The Fifth Element of Health. And in this video, I'm going to show you how PEMF therapy helps your body to heal itself of just about everything, but sometimes what's called a healing crisis can happen. Now think about the times you have so much energy that you get inspired to clean your house or fix or repair all the things that need fixing. Don't you sometimes amaze yourself at just how much you can accomplish when you're feeling energetic and healthy? If your energy is dragging, it's unlikely that the house will get cleaned or repaired, and the same goes with your body. Now, PEMF therapy and natural healing in general is like that in that you give your body more energy so that it can clean house, repair, rebuild, and heal itself. That means your body has more energy to begin removing years and years of toxic buildup. This can be rough at times, but you need to trust your body is healing itself. Depending on how old you are, which means how many years of accumulation, how healthy you are, how well you've taken care of yourself, there's a lot of variables, but these in general will determine how much toxic and unhealthy buildup you have in your body. The more toxicity you have, the greater can be the healing reaction. Now, a healing crisis or healing reaction is a temporary worsening of symptoms that occurs when the body is going through the process of healing itself through the elimination of toxins. It occurs when the body retraces old injuries, wounds, infections, and other imbalances from the past, along with, as I mentioned, getting rid of years and years of toxic buildup, which is sometimes called the bucket theory. We're like a bucket just filling up with toxins over the years, and we have to kind of dump that bucket, get rid of those toxins. To minimize or possibly eliminate this healing reaction, we want to increase the rate at which we remove these toxins. And you do this by opening and helping your four main channels of elimination to get rid of this toxic buildup, mainly your bowels, your kidney, your skin, and your breath. And we're going to go through all this in some detail in this video. Now, here's some common symptoms of a healing crisis. You might feel sleepy. You might feel lethargy. You might get a headache or feel heavy-headed. You might experience diarrhea or smelly stool, or foul-smelling urine. You might experience flatulence, gassy stomach. You might break out in rashes, itchy skin, bad sweat, dandruff. Sometimes you can get a nosebleed. A common healing reaction is flu-like symptoms where you feel like you got a fever coming on. Also, achy muscles and joints, and increased pain in certain areas of the body, along with insomnia and hyperactivity. Now, these are all some of the possibilities that can happen when you use PEMF therapy and start any natural healing protocol. You know, most people don't really understand how the body heals itself. Actually, the body is constantly healing itself and striving towards perfect health. It's almost like you have this holographic blueprint of perfect health that the body is always working to try to build towards that. But years of toxic buildup get in the way, along with on a daily basis, we keep adding more toxins to our body with unhealthy food, water, air, etc. We're constantly being exposed to all kinds of chemicals, medications, infectious agents, heavy metals, and so forth. And these all have to be removed by the body constantly to maintain optimal health. And usually the body's just kind of keeping its head above water every day, so it can't really do any deep cleaning because it's always taking out the garbage of the current day. Now, for example of toxicity in the body, the average American has up to 15 pounds of hardened, rubbery, toxic waste in their colon. This is sometimes referred as the mucoid plaque. And I know about this because I spent 10 years working with a 3-day colon cleanse product, and we just saw all kinds of testimonials where this came out, including myself. And it really is shocking to see this mucoid plaque come out. And that is a main source of toxicity. Dr. Bernard Jensen said the colon is the fertile mother of all disease. So also the kidneys can become mucked up, with kidney stones, and the circulation can start getting blocked. The liver can become fatty and cirrhosis can take place. The skin can become clogged and you have a lot of dead skin cells and your body's not able to sweat properly. Your breathing is shallow and you're not really removing waste through your breath every day. If these organs of elimination are all plugged up and mucked up, it's going to be more likely that you're going to experience a healing crisis if you start eating better. But just know that this too will pass. I mean, this is just a temporary phase, and you have to remember that these years and years of buildup aren't just going to evaporate overnight. Again, we're talking, just think about all the environmental toxins from our food, water, air, etc. Healing and detoxing your body is simply taking toxins from point A to point B. So look at this little image here. You're the circle, and I'm not much of an artist, so I'm just going to say you are the circle, and the toxins have to go from point A to point B. And notice that that arrow crosses the boundary of the circle. Now that represents metaphorically your 4 organs of elimination, which I said is the skin, the bowel, the kidneys, the breath. And you can add to that, tears and nasal dripping and the ears, sometimes pus, we have others as well, but mainly those 4 elimination channels. Now, the problem for most people is that they just want these years of toxic buildup to just magically disappear with no symptoms or problems. Now, I've got news for you. That will never happen. I tell people, there's no pill that's like a little miniature black hole that's just going to sort of suck all your toxins into another dimension. They have to go out. And if you just try to remove symptoms, you're just pushing down that toxicity. Let me give you a story. Dr. Christopher, who I feel is one of the greatest herbalists the U.S. has ever known, he had this nasal formula. And he had patients that would complain because their nose started running. And he would say, hallelujah, it's working. So again, this is counterintuitive. We typically want to suppress that. And this is what over-the-counter drugs do, is they suppress the symptoms and they push all that phlegm and all that pus back into the body. Do you think that you're going to heal by pushing all that back in? Again, you're just going to kind of run around being in this sort of like, oh yeah, I feel okay, but you don't feel great, right? And so to get to the next level, you really have to peel these layers of the onion. There is light at the end of the tunnel here, and there is a way to make this easier. Again, I'm doing this video for people that are using the iMRS or PEMF therapy device that experience these symptoms. But if you just start any good diet or natural healing protocol, you're also going to probably run into this. So this video applies to pretty much all of natural healing, although specifically PEMF. I teach people that when you start using PEMF, interestingly, PEMF, even though it triggers a detox, but it also energizes your organs of elimination so that you can remove those toxins more effectively. We're going to look at that. I just want to give you the solution here. Here are the ways that you can minimize the healing reaction. And it has to do with increasing the rate at which you remove the toxins. Now, this is simple mathematics. If your body's dumping toxins inside faster than your organs of elimination can eliminate them, of course you're going to feel discomfort because the toxic dumping is going faster than you can get rid of them. So now what if you can increase the rate at which you remove these toxins? You can definitely minimize or possibly eliminate the healing reaction. Now the first thing is the bowels. And of course, it goes without saying you want your bowels to be moving at least 2 to 3 times a day. Now, some people think once a day is normal, and it's nothing. It's not normal. And if you think once a day is normal, you really need to study natural healing more. You should be pooping 2 to 3 times a day. The healthiest countries in the world, they basically, after every meal, they squat and poop like a half hour after every meal. And these are countries that eat over 100 grams of fiber a day. So the first thing is getting your bowels to move. And I recommend Dr. Schultz's intestinal formula #1 to help you with that. Now, PEMF therapy is also going to help your colon in many ways, because sometimes people have diarrhea. Now, a healing reaction can sometimes be the other direction where you're not constipated, you got diarrhea. So the nice thing about PEMF therapy is it helps the peristalsis, calms the colon down, relaxes the colon muscles so that the colon can either speed up or slow down. But I do recommend the herbal support as well. Now, the second thing is the kidneys. And this is why I tell people before every PEMF session, you should be drinking at least 1 glass of purified water, and you can put your water on the iMRS pillow pad to energize it. Drinking really low TDS water. If you want to learn more about water, I have a whole module in my energy medicine course on water. But basically, you want water that's very clean and pristine, and you can energize it with the pillow pad. And just add a little bit of minerals if you're using like reverse osmosis. So there's a lot to say about the best water, but definitely look into getting the best possible water, drinking more because that will flush out your kidneys, and drinking less of soda pops and other man-made type of beverages. So more water helps to flush the kidneys out. That helps the kidneys to remove toxic waste. Oh, and by the way, PEMF therapy helps to improve microcirculation in the kidneys so that the kidneys will remove waste more properly. Because again, the kidneys are like little filters. And if you don't filter your water, your kidneys become the filter. Take a look at this image here. So the other thing is sweating in the skin. And PEMF therapy does help to open up the skin. And you can see this image here with thermal imaging. There's a lady here in town, that did before and afters, and she saw time and time again this increase in the surface skin temperature because the circulation and microcirculation of the skin is opening up, and that helps the skin to remove toxins because you should be removing a couple pounds of waste through your skin every day if your skin is healthy. And the way you can speed that up is to sweat more, like using a near-infrared sauna, and skin brushing, which is one of the best things you can possibly do, and it hardly costs anything. The next thing is to breathe more deeply. Here's something a lot of people don't know. If you measure how much waste is removed from the body every day, about 70% comes from the breath. We have about 20,000 breaths every day, so we want to make sure we're breathing through the nose, breathing deeply, and I tell people when they're laying on the full body mat of the iMRS to focus on deep belly breathing. And I do have a module in my energy medicine course, which is available online, where I go through proper breathing and breathing retraining. And that really is important, considering 70% of the waste is removed through the breath. And PEMF therapy actually opens up the microcirculation in the lungs, helps the alveoli to absorb oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide. So PEMF therapy is going to facilitate that process as well. Now, along with those 4 elimination channels, which are kind of the 4 ways that the toxins go from point A to point B, as I showed, there's also 2 other systems in the body that are really important. And one is the liver and the other is the lymph. So the liver is your main detoxifying organ. The liver is one of the most complex organs in the body. The liver takes more energy than any other organ based on one metabolic study. So obviously the liver is doing a lot to produce enzymes, it's detoxifying the body, it's helping the digestion, it's helping with the immune system. But one of the most important roles of the liver is methylating toxins and sort of pre-packages toxic things in the body, so that the bowels and the kidneys can get rid of them. So if your liver's not functioning properly, you're definitely going to have an increased toxic load. And the other is the lymph. The lymphatic system is kind of like your body's sewage system. All the cells are dumping toxins into the lymph, and the lymph is transporting these toxins to those organs of elimination. Things you can do with the liver to improve liver function is PEMF. Put the pillow pad over your liver. It's wonderful for energizing the liver. And of course, I do recommend a liver detox program. You can do a gallbladder flush, a liver cleanse. Dr. Schultz has really good cleanses for the kidneys, the liver, the bowel. But do some research and do a good liver cleanse. And for the lymph, PEMF also helps to open up the microcirculation, not just of the cardiovascular system, but it opens up the circulation of the lymphatic system as well. And then you can do things like massage and skin brushing. Whole body vibration and rebounding are great for the lymph. There are certain gas plasma devices that can be helpful for lymphatic drainage as well, but I prefer PEMF therapy when it comes to energy medicine. So in conclusion, PEMF therapy is helping the body to truly heal itself, not by suppressing symptoms, but by helping the body to clear out years and years of toxicity, of infections, of illness and injuries, etc., so that the body can truly rebuild and become healthy and whole. There are ways to minimize what is called the healing reaction or the healing crisis. The main way is to use PEMF therapy, which does energize all the organs of elimination, but also do everything you can to make sure your bowels are moving, to make sure your kidneys are flushed with clean water, to make sure that you're breathing deep diaphragmatic breaths, to make sure that your skin is able to detox through skin brushing and sauna therapy. And also make sure to move your lymph with massage and skin brushing and rebounding, and energize your liver with PEMF therapy and do a good liver flush to help your liver. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be releasing many more videos soon, including a new Science of PEMF series to really educate you on the physics and science of PEMF. So stay tuned for that.